Most tokens don't fail on launch day. They fail in the 6 weeks before it in the steps nobody wanted to do. We have launched over 2,000 tokens at EchoTrade, and the pattern is almost boring at this point. The projects that had a strong first month prepared properly before the token went live. The projects that struggled skipped steps they thought they could figure out later. So this is the full checklist. 11 things every project needs in place before TGE. This is not theory. This is what we have seen work across hundreds of launches and what we have seen go wrong when it is missing. Save this one. You are going to want to come back to it. Number 1, build your tokenomics properly. This is the foundation everything else sits on. Team allocation, vesting schedules, supply mechanics, distribution model, unlock timelines, all of it. Here is why it matters more than founders expect. Investors check tokenomics first. Exchanges check tokenomics before approving a listing. Market makers evaluate tokenomics before agreeing to work with a project. 3 different groups, all reading the same document, all deciding whether you are serious. The 3 mistakes we see most often: team allocation above 25%, short cliff periods that let early holders exit immediately, and venture entry prices that sit too far below the public price. Each of those creates a structural problem, and structural problems cannot be fixed later with marketing or with liquidity management. They are baked in. Get this right before anything else. Everything downstream depends on it. Number 2, understand your full budget. Most founders underestimate what a token launch actually costs: listing fees, market making at TGE, marketing spend, community management, exchange compliance, legal work. It adds up faster than the first spreadsheet suggests. And the biggest mistake is not the total, it is the shape of it. Founders allocate almost everything to the listing itself and leave nothing for what comes after. Getting listed is not the expensive part. Staying listed is, so map your costs for at least 6 months past TGE. Market making, marketing, community, exchange maintenance, and a buffer for the things you did not plan for, because there will be things you did not plan for. If your budget only covers the first 2 weeks, you are going to feel it by month 2. Number 3, secure your liquidity and your market maker before TGE. This is one of the most overlooked steps in the entire process. Projects come to us after they have already announced their listing date. By then, it is too late to do proper onboarding. Here is what actually has to happen. A market maker needs time to understand your token, your tokenomics, your exchange strategy, and your goals. They need to set up infrastructure across every exchange you are launching on, and they need to coordinate with your team on the launch day plan. None of that happens in 48 hours. We recommend engaging a market maker at least 4 to 6 weeks before TGE. That is enough time to prepare properly, and your market maker should not be the last box you tick. They should be involved in exchange selection, in liquidity budgeting, in the launch day plan. They are not a service you plug in at the end. They are part of your launch infrastructure. The projects that rush this almost always have problems on day 1. Number 4, choose your exchanges strategically. Not every exchange is right for every project. The decision comes down to 3 things: where your audience actually trades, what compliance requirements you can meet, and what you can afford to maintain long term. That last one is where projects get caught. Listing on 5 exchanges sounds impressive, but if you can only properly support liquidity on 2 of them, the other 3 become liabilities. Thin order books, wide spreads, and eventually a conversation with the exchange you did not want to have. Work with your market maker on this. They operate across dozens of exchanges every day, and they can tell you which ones make sense for your specific token, your community, and your budget. Starting on Tier 2 and Tier 3 exchanges and moving up once you are established is very often the smarter path. Rushing to the top before you are ready is not a strategy. It is a bill. Number 5, get a smart contract audit. This one is short because it is not a debate. A reputable audit from a recognized firm needs to be completed and publicly available before TGE. Exchanges check for it during the listing review. Serious investors check for it before buying. Traders check for it before entering a position. An unaudited token in 2026 is a red flag to every single one of those groups. And do not cut corners on the firm. The cost of a proper audit is a fraction of what a security incident costs you in lost funds, lost trust, and lost listings. Number 6, set up your legal structure. 4 questions. Where is the entity registered? Is know your customer and anti-money laundering in place? Is there a legal opinion on how your token is classified? And are the founders and team members documented properly? On Tier 1 exchanges, this is not negotiable. No clean legal structure means your listing application gets deprioritized or rejected outright. and compliance requirements on Tier 2 and Tier 3 exchanges have tightened significantly over the last 2 years, so this is not only a top-tier problem anymore. Start this early. Legal setup takes time, and doing it under pressure close to TGE is how mistakes and delays happen. Number 7. Lock team and investor tokens with proper vesting. Unlocked team tokens on listing day is how projects lose trust in the first 24 hours. Because if traders can see that insiders are able to sell immediately, they will not wait around to find out whether they do. Standard practice in 2026 is a minimum 6 to 12 month cliff on team tokens, with gradual vesting over 2 to 4 years after that. Investor tokens should follow a similar schedule, proportional to their entry price. And remember, the vesting schedule is public. Everyone reads it. It is one of the first documents a serious buyer opens, so make sure it tells the right story about what your team actually intends to do. Number 8. Start marketing 6 to 8 weeks before TGE. Not 2 weeks, not 1 week. The projects with the strongest launches are the ones where real demand already exists before the token goes live. And demand takes time to build. Community, influencer outreach, content, social presence, Telegram, and Discord growth. None of that has momentum on day 3. If you start marketing the same week as your TGE, you're competing against projects that have been building anticipation for months. The goal is simple. On listing day, people should already know what your token is and already want to buy it. If the listing announcement is the first time anyone hears your name, you are starting from behind. Number 9. Prepare your community channels, Telegram, Discord, X. All 3 active, moderated, and populated before TGE. Think about what actually happens after a listing. Someone discovers your token, and the very next thing they do is look for your community. If they find an empty Telegram group or a dead Discord, they leave. Most traders decide about a new token within minutes, and the community is a big part of that decision. So have your moderators in place. Have your pinned information ready. Have your frequently asked questions written before you need them. Listing day brings questions, excitement, and fear all at once. Your community infrastructure has to be able to hold all 3. Number 10. Coordinate your launch day plan. Listing day is the most important day in your token's life. It deserves a written plan that every single person involved has read. Your market maker should know the exact listing time on every exchange. Your marketing team should have posts scheduled around the announcement. Your moderators should be ready for the spike in activity. And your team should be available and responsive all day. At EchoTrade, we coordinate directly with project teams and their marketing on launch day, and there is a reason for that. Every announcement, every post, every update brings a wave of new trading activity. The order book needs to be ready for each one. So build a checklist just for launch day. Who is responsible for what happens at each stage, and what you do if something goes wrong. The projects that improvise on listing day almost always wish they had not. Number 11, have a plan for what comes after TGE. This is where most checklists stop. It is also where the real work starts. So ask the questions now. What happens on day 2, on week 2, on month 2? What is your content plan for the first 30 days after listing? Which exchange metrics are you watching? How often are you talking to your market maker? When is your first major unlock? And are you ready for it? Projects that plan only up to TGE spend the following months reacting to problems. Projects that plan 3 to 6 months ahead stay in control. And staying in control is the entire difference between a token that is still trading well in month 6 and one that is not. After more than 2,000 token launches, we can usually tell within the first week whether a project prepared properly. The ones that did come into listing day with demand already built, an engaged community, marketing running on schedule, and a team that knows exactly what is happening at every stage. The launch builds on momentum that already exists. The ones that did not spend, listing day reacting. Thin community, rushed marketing, and a team scrambling to handle things that should have been ready weeks earlier. And here's the part worth sitting with. Nothing on this checklist is complicated. Every single step is straightforward. The projects that follow it simply have better outcomes than the projects that skip steps to save time or budget. Proper tokenomics, a real budget, liquidity planned before TGE, marketing that starts early, a market maker involved weeks before listing, legal structure in place, a community that is ready. None of that is optional if you want your token to still be working past the first month. If you're planning a launch right now, this is what we do. EchoTrade is a market maker with connections across more than 90 exchanges, over 2,000 token launches behind us, and a team of more than 40 people including 30 plus traders. Send us a message and we will give you a free consultation about your upcoming token launch. We will look at your timeline, your exchange plan, and your liquidity setup and tell you honestly what we would do differently. Thanks for watching.